Parents aren't just complaining about childcare costs anymore. They are cutting it, changing working schedules, and restructuring their whole lives. And this new report confirms it. The big number going around this week comes from a Lending Tree report, and it's a little jaw-dropping. In 85 of the 100 largest U.S. metro areas, full-time childcare for 2 kids now costs more than rent. More than rent. And to put real dollars on it, the average monthly cost for full-time center-based care for 2 kids across these metros is about $2,252 a month. That's not a small monthly expense. That's a bill. And if you've been feeling like this got worse fast, you're not imagining it. That same report says that childcare costs are up 35.3% since 2019. And the Washington Post also points to research showing about 1 in 5 families experience childcare hardship because of the cost, with single moms hit the hardest. So yes, this is a headline, but it's also a reality check because the childcare bill is starting to look like a second rent.
Sorry, but how can people afford daycare? Like, if you have 2 working parents, how is it possible to afford daycare full time? We are blessed to have 2 days that my mother-in-law watches the boys, which is wonderful. But we have friends that send their kids to daycare all week, and individually each kid is $70 a day.
So what are we doing feeling? Parents will instantly recognize it because for a long time the expectation was that 2 working parents would make life feel manageable, but that's not the feeling that parents are having right now. And then there are other parents on TikTok sharing their exact numbers. Check it out.
I'm Jen, I'm a mom of 2, and I also have a full-time corporate job. And my family uses daycare as a source of full-time childcare. And I try to be transparent on here in terms of how much it costs to be a dual-income family, especially from a childcare perspective. We just ended 2025, and I made the mistake of going into my parent portal and looking at our tuition summary for the year. And we spent a total of $53,432 on daycare tuition.
That's certainly a number, and of course, cost is going to depend on where you live and the level of care that you're looking for. Meanwhile, other parents on TikTok are comparing the cost not just to rent, but to something else that will feel familiar.
So do you want to hear something absolutely disgusting? We toured a daycare today, and to send our daughter 2 times a week to this daycare, mind you, we would still have to figure out childcare for the other 3 days that week. Sending our daughter 2 times a week for an entire year would cost more than my in-state tuition did at my university.
College tuition, rent, these are big bills. So what are real families doing? You know, I found you a clip of a real mom doing real life.
We live in Massachusetts, and the truth is my husband and I cannot afford for me to be a stay-at-home mom. But here's the kicker. We also can't afford childcare. The cost of living here is super expensive, and childcare is one of those things that are also super expensive. I do have the privilege to work from home, so I'm very thankful for that, but some days I do have to go in for my clients. And when I have to do that, I usually plan it around my husband's days off. It's definitely not easy, but it's something that we really just have to do for the time being.
When you look at the headlines and you look at real families, you notice that this is not a parenting problem. This is a math problem. And I have to tell you, I've been there. When I had my daughter 12 years ago, she was born with life-threatening food allergies. We're not just talking about peanuts, although that is definitely something that parents struggle with. We're talking about like bananas and avocados. And I just couldn't bear to send her to daycare where kids were having banana puree. And so I quit my job. But hey, we had bills to pay. So what I did was similar to what that mom did that we looked at together. I worked evenings and weekends, I started a tutoring business, and my husband worked during the day. And yes, I missed a lot of Saturdays. I missed a lot of birthday parties, but it got us through. So here's our tiny takeaway. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you are in the thick of it right now, look at what other parents are doing because many are running full-on logistics. So we might as well trade notes. And if you have an answer to childcare that has worked for you, drop it in the comments because that is how we grow our village. And tomorrow we are talking about milk. Yes, milk. Got milk? Remember the mustache? Schools are now serving or allowed to serve whole milk. Why is this even important? We'll talk about it tomorrow morning, but for now, you have a great day and I'll see you soon.